What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Baby Maker Live. Today, we're going to answer any questions you've got about the Baby Maker, e-bikes in general, and you'll also get a chance to meet some of our staff. Troy will be in at 2:10 p.m. to answer any logistics questions, questions about deliveries, production, as well as he is the man with a plan. He's on top of things. And at 2:40, Jason, one of our top mechanics here, he'll be in here to answer any mechanic-related questions regarding upgrades to bikes. If you've got any issues at all, he'll be able to help out with that. We will be answering any questions that you've got here on the live chat, so feel free to let them rip, and I'll be going through the relevant ones when there's guests in here and catching up to all the other ones when there are not. So without further ado, let's get into it. Mike Hepelodi. I know I'm butchering that name, sorry. Please update me with the current situation regarding standard bike production and delivery to Spain. So, Mike, we are building both pros and standards in Spain. The last two shipments to leave were we had a container UK2 go out and NL3. So NL3 was the third shipment to Europe. That went out the week before last. That was, I'm going to read you. That was 126 baby makers that went to the Netherlands. That's for all of Europe. And UK2, which shipped last Friday, that was 98 baby makers. In terms of the breakdowns of pros versus standards, I'm going to wait for Troy to come in. He may be able to shed some more light on it as he is in charge of the build plans there. Chris Link. Hi, Rob. Good to see you again. How's your vacation? Hey, Chris. Good to see you too. I did have a great trip. I went off to Hawaii for a week with my brother. First one in a very, very long time. It was great to disconnect for a little bit, and I'm back and feeling more refreshed than ever. Alan, is there a discount code for the FLX Bandit? Alan, not that I know of at the moment. I'm not sure if we've got a pre-order on that right now, or even if they're in stock. But if you go to the website, you'll be able to see if it has a lead time on it or if it's in stock. Trebnod. Hi, Rob. How was Hawaii? It was great. If you can't notice, I got a little tan there. Did a lot of surfing there with my brother, and now we're back. Alphonse, hey, Rasterman, glad to see you back. You survived vacation. Tell me about T3 and T4 deliveries. Thank you for the kind words, Alphonse. Let me check on T3 and T4. So T2 and T3 were together in one ship, and those, I mentioned them on the last update. Let me see what the team has written about them, though. I believe those already birthed. Yeah, so they birthed, they cleared customs, and they were unloaded. They are supposed to be shipping this week, so you can expect deliveries on T3 this week and next week to be going out. And in terms of T4, that's expected to arrive, I believe I heard, as early as next week. It's on its way down, and Troy's going to give you a better update on that when he's in. Max asks, how qualified are bike shop mechanics to repair a baby maker? So, Max, the baby maker is very simple. Everything on it is just like a normal bike. The only difference is you do have a motor in the back, a battery inside of the down tube, and a LCD display on it. There are a lot of repairs that you would do at a bike shop to any bike that are much more complex than anything you would ever need to do on a baby maker. So any qualified bike mechanic who can solve problems and fix things should be able to work on your baby maker just fine. If you do have an issue with anything with a mechanic, a lot of times we do make videos for certain repairs. The most complicated would be like a motor swap or swapping the battery. In those, I believe we do have videos for those, so we can provide those for your mechanic. Zach, hi, Rob, Troy. Glad to have received address confirmation for my bike last week, 422, which I believe was for UK2. My bike is due for delivery to Northern Ireland. Will it be shipped with UK or EU bikes? So, Zach, the latest I know on that is that Ireland bikes are shipped with the European bikes. And Troy is going to correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the latest we discussed about that. Something due to Brexit, something that goes beyond my understanding. my limited global view, but I believe they're shipped with the European bikes. HRMSJ, my contribution ID 10825. I'm in San Jose. When should I expect delivery? So on these, I can't give you an exact delivery date. Troy will not be able to do that either. We have set a deadline of July 31st to get all these bikes shipped out. So sometime between now and then is the best estimate that I can give everybody here in terms of a closer date range. Once you get a shipping notification or allocation letter from us, it's an email that says, "Hey, we've allocated your bike," or "Your bike has shipped." That should give you a ballpark estimate saying, "Hey, it's going to be mid-May or late May, early June, etc." So keep an eye on your email for that. Once it does get allocated, we'll be able to give you a closer date. Greg Fantz, when will SoCal residents be seeing the Baby Maker when ordered in July 2020? So, Greg, same answer there. I can't give you the exact date. Sometime between now and July 31st, but keep an eye on the email for those allocation and shipping letters. Chaseable, really want to purchase another Pro. However, I still haven't received my original order in June. Will I have to wait another 8 months again? No, you will not. Um, the biggest challenge there is the delays on components we received for multiple things. The biggest one is just COVID. All components got completely nuked, the whole supply chain, because all bikes sold out everywhere and every major manufacturer put in orders and double orders and triple orders with different manufacturers. So everything went out of stock and lead times went from multiple months to multiple years now. It's just insane. But we did have a big mass of orders in the beginning with the Indiegogo campaign that tapered down a little bit. So as we get caught up with all of these pre-orders, the lead times are reducing drastically for us. So orders placed now, we are expecting summer of this year. Zach, sorry, just don't want my bike getting lost somewhere in the Irish Sea. Awesome. I don't think that will happen. Sandeep, hi, I've been waiting for my bike in the UK. Thank you, Sandeep, for the patience. We did just ship the second shipment to the UK. Now we are at 29% fulfilled in the UK. So almost a third of the way there in the UK. It is both UK and EU are lagging behind all of our other locations due to the delays with Spanish customs getting those parts in. But we're slowly catching up there. So we appreciate you hanging tight, and we'll see more shipments to the UK here very soon. Alphonse, let me know if you need help shipping the bikes. I need my 2 bikes ASAP. I can be there on Thursday this week. Hey, thank you very much, Alphonse. We're not shipping the bikes anymore. That's all in the hands of FedEx. We actually ship all the bikes direct to their warehouses and then out to you just to save time. So there's no handling time from us in the middle. Emerald Citizen, hey Rob, hope you enjoyed your vacay. Could we have the exact specs on the Magura brake lines in case they're a bit short, tight, if we make mods like extensions to the steering tube? Emerald, thank you for that. I'll have to check. Troy has been confirming the brake line length with our current factories, like the ones in the EU. So I'll see if he's got that spec on hand so we can answer that on the live. Chris Link, I have not received the backpack for the Phantom, by the way. Thank you for the reminder. That should have been shipped from here. I will check with our team. We did ship out all the international ones out, so I expect it would be on the way. However, because it was shipped much different way from your actual board, Chris, it may take anywhere between 3 and 5 weeks to get to you. Sandeep, why don't you guys give more specific info? Unfortunately, Sandeep, we cannot give more specific info. We give you the best of the information that we have at the time. If I could tell you exactly what date your bike would be completed on, I absolutely would. Believe me on that. That would make my job a lot easier and everybody's job here. There's just too many variables in the process. So, for example, we don't know how long it will take customs to clear certain components. So we're really just waiting on components to clear, for example, in the EU. Once they clear, we know, okay, now we've got components, we can build bikes. And then again, we do not know how long it will take to complete the bikes. We don't know if one of the bikes will have a scratch on it that we'll need to reject and pull that out of the build plan. So the best information we can give is once we've actually built the bike and decided, okay, this bike is for you, Sandeep, then we can give you very specific information. But unfortunately, until then, we're giving the best of the information we've got. Alphonse, I received my address confirmation earlier this month, my order number 8434. I still have not received shipping. Alphonse, please check on the Indiegogo updates. You'll be able to associate the date of your shipping confirmation with date of the container and check which container it's on, and then you'll be able to see a good estimate of a time that container is arriving. Trebnod, when is the next UK order approximately? And again, approximately, can we say how many will be on it? I appreciate the language, Trebnod. So right now we are alternating between EU and UK. So we're building NL4 at the moment. Troy's going to give you an update on that once he's in. The latest I know on that is that we've built 70 bikes, but we ran into a small issue where the wheels to complete more bikes have not cleared customs yet. And so we're stuck with those 70, trying to get the wheels out to complete more bikes. And that container, what's up, Troy? That container either will have to ship shorted bikes or ship it later once the wheels clear. So Troy's going to give us an update there. And now he's in. What's going on, Troy?
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the live. Let's check your volume.
Helps if I talk, right? All right.
Yeah, all right, beautiful.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I've been saving so many good questions for you.
All right.
Do you want to do your
Why don't
report
we
first?
go
And then
through
I'll
our
ask you?
update,
All right.
and we can talk about that a little bit. And I was taking a few notes. So
Why don't we do this just to break it up
Yeah.
a little bit? Do like a third of the report at a time, and I'll break it up with 2 or 3 questions, so we can answer some questions too.
yeah,
All right.
actually, probably I think I've covered this before, but just a little review. So when we talk about FedEx, we deal with multiple. There's not one FedEx. There is one big FedEx corporation, but there's multiple pieces of it. So when we talk about fulfillment by FedEx, typically, and of course we're talking North America, we're talking about FedEx trade networks. That's when the bikes come in, containers come in, it goes to FedEx trade networks, and that they intake the containers, they do all that piece of it. And then what they do is they do the labeling, they pick and label, and then they move it on to either FedEx ground, because all these have to go by ground because of the batteries, they can't fly, or in some cases they go to FedEx freight. So if you are in, say, Alaska or Hawaii type of thing, normally FedEx would fly that stuff. They can't fly it, so it has to go FedEx freight. We lash it to a pallet. It goes FedEx freight to either Alaska or Hawaii. It goes to another distribution point there. They break it up, and then it goes into the FedEx ground system, or in the case of Hawaii, depending on which island you're on, either goes to ground or goes to express. So when we talk about FedEx, we kind of talk about it globally, but we actually deal with 3 FedEx entities here. So it goes from container to FedEx to another FedEx and possibly even a third FedEx, depending on where it's going. So that hopefully that's not more confusing than the situation already was. But in some cases, when we're talking about FedEx, we kind of use that generically. That could be FedEx Trade, who is the warehousing piece and does all the labeling and picking. Could be FedEx Freight, who does the, like I said, the pallet movement on like an LCL basis, or it could be FedEx Ground, who actually is bringing it to your door. So I just wanted to clarify that a little bit. So let's start. We'll start with North America. It's always interesting what goes on. So we'll talk about T2, T3. We talked about that. That is the MSC La Spezia, which has been at sea a very long time. But it is here, and the containers are unloaded. They've cleared customs, and we're awaiting drop off. They're supposed to be to FedEx Trade Networks. Today they'll get destuffed there, and then we'll provide labels, and they'll get moved over to the ground system. So T2, T3, that goes back to 326. If you got an address confirmation 326, those are your containers. It's 450 baby makers. It's actually two different containers. Take a little while because it's a lot of bikes, but that one is moving. So those will be hopefully starting to fulfill end of this week. Those will start hitting the ground system. Next up, it's a little bit goofy, but the next one up would be T4 or C18. Those are both on the same ship, the MSC Auriga. That one is at Long Beach. It's awaiting a berth, so it's sitting out there. That is 880 bikes. If you got an address confirmation on 416, those are your containers. So those are sitting. It's off the coast of Long Beach. I think I said vessel tracker before. I think it's called vessel finder, but you can or I'm sorry, marine tracker. You can track those ships. But that one is waiting for a berth. The odd one was T5, which left China later, actually came into Long Beach and berthed immediately. Didn't sit off the coast at all. So if you got your address confirmation on 423, you're on the CSCL South China Sea. That's 540 baby makers. That's berthed at Long Beach awaiting offload, so it has to be offloaded, clear customs. We usually give about 8 to 10 days is our assumption. Now we've shortened it up a little bit. Normally it was like 10 to 12, but it's been a little quicker. Things have improved at this end. At the LA Long Beach port has gotten better. It's actually gotten worse in China. So once it gets on the water, it gets here and it gets offloaded a little bit quicker. It's just a matter of getting it onto the water in the first place. So after that, we talked about there's C19. That is the MOL Prestige. That is due to arrive about May 4th. We'll see. It originally said May 12th. They moved it up 8 days, which is a little curious, but it does happen. That's not a lot of bikes. It's 54 baby makers, but that is 825 touring kits, which is about 2/3 of, along with the previous 400 we got, about 2/3 of all the touring kits we need in North America. That'll catch us up on all delivered bikes. We don't send out allocation letters for touring kits, but you will get an address verification once that lands. And once again, that's about 2/3 of all the touring kits we need. We will fulfill those, and then of course, as we fulfill all these other bikes, there'll be more touring kit requirements. So we'll ship those out, but there'll be about 200 touring kits sitting in stock, and they'll ship out pretty much immediately as the bikes come in also. Newest information we have is on container. It's basically what we'll call shipment T6. We'll say T6-1 and -2 because two different containers and they didn't go on the same ship. One T6-1 is, you can track it if you want, the CSCL, I think it's called Bohai C, Bohai, if you want to track that one. Those allocation letters are going out, I think today we sent those over, so you'll get allocation letters for that one. That one is 200, it's all one bike, 225 23-inch Sterling Upper Pros coming on that one. And T6-2 is a mixed group. That is at port right now, or is actually, that one is at port, I'm sorry. The CSCL Spring. So those are both going to be early, probably early June deliveries. T6-2 is contains Sterling droppers, so I think that will be good news. C20, we're awaiting some shipping information. We don't have a ship assignment on that, so next week we will update that on the Indiegogo and this little broadcast here, but that will also have some additional Sterling droppers. Canada batteries, we shipped out most of them. We unfortunately ran out of bubble wrap for some, so there's a few more. We got some more bubble wrap in. So if you haven't gotten your battery, it's still coming in Canada. All the US batteries were fulfilled. Chargers are all gone. We shipped everything. If you ordered a charger and an extra charger to go with your bike, those have all been shipped. The next round we'll do probably in about a month after we clear all these bikes out. We don't want to ship out accessories where you don't have a bike yet. That's probably more than a third, but it's
Sweet.
That covers North America.
Awesome. Thank you, Troy. Let me get you some questions. Okay, first one was from Mike
Yeah.
asking, please update me regarding the situation about standard bike production and delivery to Spain.
Yes.
Could you fill us in for the last two shipments to UK and EU? Did we have standards on there?
The answer to that is no. There was UK 1 and NL3 did not have any standards on them. We talked about this actually last week. So UK 2 does have standards. I totaled it up a little bit. Of the 98 bikes, 37 are standards. And given the percentage of overall standard order versus pro, that's actually fairly high. And then NL4 is about 45 standards out of that one.
So currently building standards.
Yeah.
The last one had standards. And now
UK 1 didn't have any standards and NL3 didn't have any standards, but you will see standards in virtually every shipment going forward.
Got it. So UK 2, the last one to leave, did have standards.
UK 2, yes, UK 2 did have standards. Yeah, UK
Sweet.
1 did not. If
Awesome.
I misspoke, my apologies.
So most shipments going forward from Spain will have standards.
Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Thank you. All right. A couple other questions for you. We talked about this before. I want to make sure I didn't mess it up. North Ireland
Yes.
is leaving from EU with EU bikes.
You know, I was just looking at that order, and I will let me take a look at that because Northern Ireland was supposed to be EU. 422 was actually the date for UK 2. So I hopefully we didn't allocate you to the wrong one. There's bikes on both UK 2 and NL4 of that type. So we'll clarify that. Obviously, we don't want to stick you with a VAT charge because you don't have that. So we will. I'll take a look at that after that, Zach. Yeah, we'll get on top of that one right away and make sure we clarify that.
Awesome. All right. One more here. James Gilroy, 5224 Scotland. According to Troy, I am number 18 in UK2 confirmations. Went out Friday. I have not received anything. I've contacted FLX. Why is nobody answering me? Does that name ring a bell? James Gilroy?
Yeah, I do know the name, but I don't recall anything specific with that. I'd have to look at the 5224. Let me take a look at it. I don't. It depends on what the bike configuration is. I'll have to take a look at that.
If he's in UK2, those are not all delivered yet, correct? Those are
no
shipping?
UK2 hasn't even arrived yet. That truck left on Friday with the delivery at Big Web Warehouse. The dock date for that is tomorrow. So I was going to talk about that in a second, but they're going to destuff those. We'll give them all their labels. And Monday is a bank holiday in England, is my understanding. So those may not start moving until next Tuesday.
Awesome. Cool. So if it's in UK2, it's shipped, has not arrived to the fulfillment center yet, arrives tomorrow, and then ships out to your door.
You should have if you're on UK2, you would have had an address confirmation on 422. So check your spam. I'll go back and take a look at that one after I get done here, and we'll get back with you.
Awesome. All right, Troy, I'll let you bang on another third of that report.
Okay. So yeah, UK2, that's arriving at distribution tomorrow. The VAT letters are going out today. As I mentioned, Monday is a bank holiday, so we'll see if those start shipping before Tuesday or not. That all depends on how quickly they turn those around. And of course, VAT has to be paid before any shipments are made. So again, if you received an address confirmation on 422, you are on UK2. NL3 has already landed in the Netherlands, and we have tracking for 100% of those orders. So those bikes should be delivering if they haven't already. We have tracking on all of those, and then you should have your bike. I haven't seen anybody posting on Facebook that I know of, but you would have received an address confirmation on 4/13, and you should be getting, I've seen examples of the emails with tracking numbers, so people are getting emailed notifications from CTS that their bikes are coming. Just want to let you know, so in case you're wondering, we don't send out allocation letters for Europe or the low volume locations. We probably will for Australia and New Zealand, just because again there's sea time there. But for Europe and the other close-in locations to China, we don't send out an allocation letter just because the turnaround is pretty quick. We usually send the address notifications the same day the truck leaves Spain. So it's usually about, depending on whether we're going to Netherlands or whether we're going to UK, 3 to 5 days. So we usually send out the address notification that day when the truck is closed up and leaves. We know exactly what the count is, so we don't disappoint anybody. Sometimes a bike falls out, they find a scratch, they find a little issue. So we don't want to disappoint somebody by sending an address validation that isn't going to have a bike connected to it. So that's typically what how that works. Touring kits are getting ready to be shipped out. So those will go directly to the UK or the Netherlands as is appropriate. We're not going to go through Spain with those. There's no reason to go through the Spanish factory on those. Those will be those will be palletized LCL type shipments. They'll go directly to our distribution in the Netherlands or UK as is appropriate, and then there'll be some stock left over if people want to order those. That'll be a little while, but those will show up available for sale.
Awesome.
Break for the next one.
Oh yeah, I got some questions for you. All right. Let's see. Lee Odom, I got my confirmation email in March. When do you think those will ship?
Okay, so if you got it in March, I'm assuming you're in the US, so that would be T2, T3, 326. You would have gotten it near the end of March. That, again, those should be shipping probably, I would say, early next week. We're waiting for the containers. They're supposed to be at FedEx Trade today, destuffed, labeled, and start moving over to ground. Just so you understand, you will in some cases see labels prior to it actually being transferred to ground. I have to work that out. They weren't supposed to send those out prior to them being scanned at ground. So if you see a pending, that means it hasn't been transferred to ground. We're working through that. That was something we thought we had corrected, but I think has become a problem again.
Great. John wants to know, have the notification letters for C19 gone out yet?
Yes, they have.
Awesome.
For the bikes only. Yes, we're going to send out address. We're going to send out the address verifications for the touring kits, but there's no allocation letters for those. So yes, C19 is, those letters are out.
All right, last one for you from Ray. Can you confirm that C18 is on MSC Auriga? It looks like Auriga is parked outside the port in LA since yesterday. Yep. Any idea on when it'll get a parking spot?
No, it's actually been parked for longer than that, and that was the strange part, because the Auriga was waiting and the South China Sea came in and berthed immediately without sitting in there. The good news is there's about 20 ships waiting right now off the coast, which is actually an improvement. Back in March, it was like 30 to 35. So things have improved again on this end. I'm going to guess it's probably in the next few days. You look at kind of the relative location of where they are to the port, and you can make some assumptions that these are the ones that are going to move in next, type of thing. So I'm going to guess probably in the next, hopefully 3 or 4 days, that's going to be berthed.
Awesome. All right, I'll let you round out the report before some more questions.
So we can talk about low volume locations. So China, we've shipped. I've seen some people posting. All of those have been delivered. Hong Kong shipping. So those were loaded on a truck, and then they're going to move over, and kind of like a less than truckload type situation. They'll break the pallet, and then those will get local distribution. I'm waiting for the tracking on those. I don't have those, but all 25 Hong Kong orders were shipped. The 2 Japan tests are gone. We're just waiting for some feedback. It might take us a little while on that. Singapore, we're getting ready to put out a letter to the folks in Singapore regarding the LTA, that's the Land Transport Authority in Singapore. They have some fairly stringent rules about licensing of bikes. We're going to send you an email with a document that you need, just and letting you know that you are responsible for the licensing of that. So we'll give you the documents you need, but you will have to go to the LTA in Singapore to license your bike. Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia, those address confirms were sent. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna send out this letter to Singapore, and then we'll be cutting labels to get those shipped. And the labels for Korea and Taiwan were sent. We're just waiting confirmation on shipment. So they have those. They should be labeling those up and moving those along. Question is, so the other one we're still working through is the Australia, New Zealand. So that one is kind of a 2-step process or 2 phases, because we fulfilled a ton of bikes there, but then we also had touring kits and all that stuff. So it's we have to fulfill those, but then we also have, in addition to that, more bike orders that ordered touring kits and other things like that. So they're kind of a hybrid in that they'll be handled, the new bike orders will be handled like low volume locations, touring kits installed, everything in one box. But then there'll be another separate, separate charger, separate battery, separate touring kit if you've already got your bike. So that one, we're putting that together. It's a little more complicated for the factory to deal with, but that's what actually what Richard is assembling right now for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Sweet. Thank you for the update. I got some questions for you.
Absolutely.
All right. What does the subject line say for the allocation email?
Oh, on the email, I actually don't know what it says.
Interesting.
I think it's notification of shipment or baby maker notification of shipment. I'd actually have to ask Ben on that, because he sends out the mass emails.
You're pulling a Rob here and deferring to somebody who's not in the room.
Yeah, I know. And not only not in the room, he's not in the building. He's off site right now, so I can't even ask him.
Cool. Yeah, Ben puts those emails together, so we don't know exactly what the subject is on that. But please add shipping@flx.bike to your preferred senders in your email so it doesn't go into your spam box.
Yes.
All right. Gianni asked about what SKUs are on T19. Have you got any insight offhand on that?
Yeah, I do. I don't have it with me. I can tell you it's not, C19 is not a ton of bikes,
That's
but it's
with the touring kits, right?
That's with the touring kits. It's 54 bikes, and it's I got to work from memory here. It's 37 pros and 17 standards, or the other way around. I could run out and look on my board. I don't remember always the numbers. I don't carry those with me all the time, but there are standards in that group.
Awesome. All right. Let's see here. We're getting to the end of the questions for you. What container are the pink 19-inch Pro uppers on? Any thoughts on that?
I assume you're talking about the U.S. I don't know. I'd have to go look. I'll see if I can run through those and locate them.
His name is Gianni Valentino, so it could maybe an order from Italy. I don't want to make any assumptions, but
yeah, be careful.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, no, he says it's for the USA. I was wrong. Okay. Sorry, Gianni.
I'll take
Troy's going to take a look at that.
Yep.
John says the email says, Baby Maker, confirm your shipping. Allocation says, Baby Maker, estimated arrival date.
Yeah, the confirm your shipping is going to be the address verification. The estimated arrival date, I think, is the one that's telling you that, and it gives you kind of early, let's say late May, early June type of thing. Again, because we know it's on the water, but we don't have any control of it after that in terms of port congestion and how quickly it moves through customs. The good news is I was talking to FedEx Trade this morning. We have a call every Wednesday, and they were telling me that the port is back up and running 24/7 again, which it has not been for some time. So that's going to help a whole bunch. Yeah.
Awesome. That's really good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's all the questions I got for you. I got to rip through some of these before Jason comes in.
I will. I'll go through. I'll take a look at those if you want me to come back or not.
Sweet. Yeah. If you want to come in at the end, just with a few.
If you're not going overtime.
Few answers.
Rob's a little time strapped today because he's got another big event going on.
Oh yeah.
Right in the building. So.
Oh yeah, big event.
Yes.
All right, Troy.
Take care.
Thanks so much for the help. Big applause. All right, I skipped a bunch of questions here, guys. If you didn't get your question answered, please hang tight. We're going to run through those really quick before Jason comes in. Let's see, where did we leave off before Troy jumped in here? All right. John 10186 ordered May 31st, got my shipping email last week, just waiting on my FedEx email. Super excited. Let's go. Awesome, John. Really excited to hear that you got the email and that your baby maker whereabouts is known and that you'll have it soon. Thomas, how come you don't know which contribution numbers are in which containers? I have been told basically since November every month that I would receive my bike by the end of the month. So, Thomas, we do know which containers contain which contribution numbers once we've allocated them. Basically, we build as many bikes as we can according to a build plan, which is based on what bikes have been ordered, what bikes you ordered, and when you ordered them, because we're doing our absolute best to fulfill in a first-come, first-served basis. Once they're actually built, because there are a lot of variables in the building process, like, for example, a certain wheel color not being available. Once we can build as many bikes as will fit in a container, that's when Troy and the logistics team go through that manifest of all the baby makers and allocate them. So they assign them to the next people in line for those specific SKUs in those specific regions. So it's only then, once we can tell you for sure that, hey, your bike's been assigned to you and it's in this container and here's when to expect it. If we could tell you earlier, we absolutely would, John. It would make everybody's lives here a hell of a lot easier. Unfortunately, there's just too many variables in the process to be able to do that. And Thomas, one more note. You mentioned you've been told since November that every month you would receive it by the end of the month. Please let me know who told you that, because that's not acceptable. Telling you that it's coming at the end of the month if it's unknown, or if that's not the case. So if you could let me know who told you that, we can make sure that nobody's given information that is not correct in the future. Awakened Sleeper, what was your favorite place or spot in Hawaii? It was on the north shore of Oahu. Some beautiful waves there at a place called Chun's Reef Break. Some big 6-8 footers, just consistently. Everywhere else, I did not have a very good luck surfing. I had the wrong board. Lee, we got your question. Chris Link should look at Propel X4S as a Sex Panther competitor. Chris, I have looked at that board. I believe it's a Baja board copy, and I was not a fan of it. Awakened Sleeper, what's one key learning from the design or function of the Baby Maker version 1 that you're looking forward to improving, changing for the version 2 on other FLX models? The biggest thing that we'll be doing, and we've actually started doing this already, is simplifying things in terms of the amount of SKUs drastically. And that's going to allow us to produce them, build them, and ship them with less complexity and get them to you faster. Because we had 2 sizes, 2 models, base and pro, 2 handlebar options, and 6 colors. We had a total of 48. It's either 48 or 96, just a ridiculous amount of possible SKUs, which became very challenging and time consuming to manage. So moving forward, what we've done is we've discontinued the standard model, and we're going to simplify things like handlebar options and colors moving forward, just to get them built faster. John 750, is it true the brake levers on the Pro are plastic? So John, the brake levers on the Pro with upper bullhorn bars, they are the MT30 Magura brake levers. It's a really good brake system, really high quality stuff. It is a composite brake lever. I believe it's a mix of like a metal stem and then a plastic composite brake lever, which is lighter than having a metal one. So it is a composite. You do see composites in a lot of like super high quality cars as well, but that's not to say by any means that it is a low quality product. We can get metal brake levers a lot cheaper from other vendors, but the brakes are not as good as the Magura MT30s. Andrew Patton, how many UK bikes are still to be built? So we're 29% of the way through UK orders. I believe we have about 1,000 bikes there. Don't quote me on that to build in total. So that would be around 700 left to go. Luca 9928, still nothing. In the meantime, I moved from Italy to the Netherlands. Any idea on when I'll get it? It should be sometime between now and the end of July. So keep an eye out on that. And if you've moved, you'll definitely want to contact our support team, support@flx.bike, and let them know of your address change so we can get that in on your order. Ed Olking, Troy, when are the orange droppers for the US coming? 97656 is the order number. Ed, so we've shipped many orange droppers for the US. It sounds like yours has not been shipped or allocated yet if you're asking that question. So please hang tight for an allocation letter. As soon as yours is allocated, you will get an email from us. Trevnod, where's the Superman music for the man, for Troy? He certainly deserves it. Still need to get some of that. We'll probably get a copyright strike, though, if we use it. Beefies, how waterproof is the Baby Maker? If I get stuck in a rainstorm or left outside, will the bike die? Beefies, no, it won't. I've been stuck in a very nasty rainstorm on purpose on the Baby Maker just to test its waterproof ability. We do have a video about that that we posted during the campaign. I'm going to try and pull it up here and send you a video. It's titled, Can You Ride an E-Bike in the Rain? And it's me riding a Baby Maker in some very heavy rain. They are IP65 waterproof rated, which means don't go swimming with it, but heavy rain shouldn't be an issue. If you do ride in the rain, though, we recommend giving it a good wipe down. Try and dry everything off afterwards. This video does explain that process as well, just to prolong the life of things so you don't have water damaging parts or causing premature rust. What's going on, Jason? All right.
Yeah.
Jason, it's been a while.
Yeah,
Been
sorry.
a minute. Welcome.
Sorry I'm late, too. Was trying to put a bike back together.
Oh, no, you're good. What bike are you working on right now?
It's a refurbished Blade 1.0. Basically one of the cooler bikes. I'll say faster. I say cooler because I love to go fast, and it's one of our faster bikes.
Yeah. You're not alone there. Jason and I are both speed demons. So, guys, there are a bunch of questions here that I haven't answered yet. I will be getting to those. For now, with Jason here, Jason is our lead mechanic in the shop. He runs the front shop and absolute e-bike whisperer. He knows his way around an e-bike way better than myself even. So he's here to answer any questions you've got about making modifications,
For sure.
about how the bikes are built, or if you have an issue with the bike, any of our bikes, you can ask him here. How's your day been?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, man. It is a hard charge in the industry right now to maintain part inventory stock.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it is a tremendous effort, but we are killing it. Daily, I have stuff coming in for both the Baby Maker and the other model of bikes. Basically, just spinning my wheels, trying to keep everything available for when necessary. And so, a lot of my days, amongst doing the repair, has been keeping up to date with that stuff. So we've been rocking, trying to really keep it together for the industry and everybody else.
Hell yeah. Awesome. All right, perfect timing because Mike B asked a question.
Yeah.
Is it possible to change the gear ratio on a Baby Maker Pro? I live on the hill and would give up top speed to get an easier gear ratio for hills. He gets it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, there is the possibility to change that gear ratio. There are some, I guess, special parameters that you kind of need to follow. The rear cog, if you were going to change that, you just want to make sure that it's going to mount properly to the hub. Hit us up on if you guys have questions about that. Hit us up on support, and our mechanic Mark will probably reference the answer to you, but kind of through me. He definitely will tell you how to do that. And then as far as the front chainring, I know there are some different options, bigger and smaller tooth sizes. One of those things that you'd probably be able to find through Gates, and I've heard of other people finding some I believe 70 tooth chain rings that will work on the Baby Maker Pro. So yeah, I would say hit us up if you have individual questions regarding going up in gearing or down, and we'll try to hopefully get you to where you want to be for either the torque or the added speed.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Jason. All right, let's see if there's more mechanic-related questions. All right, Alphonse asks, if you have a problem with the bike, quality control, paint failures, etc., what's the best action to take?
That's a great question. Support is going to be your best start. We have touch-up paint here in the shop, so if your bike arrived for some reason scratched, or if you notice any paint blemishes at all, hit us up. We can get you some touch-up paint. Outside of that, the paint coating on the outside is basically just like a car would be. They use a multi-stage paint process, so you could in fact have your bike repainted. That's not something we would do for you, but definitely auto body guys out there, painters, can definitely hook you up. But generally, I would say if you received it scratched, please hit us up through the support channel, and we'll definitely get you taken care of.
Awesome. All right, Ray asked for Jason, what are the pros and cons between a hub motor versus a motor at the crank? He specifically said Jason. He doesn't want me to answer it.
He doesn't want. No, I appreciate that, man. I like my answer too. You know what? There's a lot of differences, in fact, between mid-drive and rear hub. To start with, the weight balance of a middle drive motor versus a hub kind of gives you the battery, the motor, and the rider all in the same place. It frees up the wheels to be just regular bicycle wheels. There's a lot of advantage in that in itself. Say the rear wheel on a hub motor bike is going to be more difficult, more cumbersome to remove, change a tube. But then there are some major advantages to that rear hub system as well. The mid motor is going to be driven off of, in most cases, off of a torque sensor, which has its own style, if you will, of riding, versus a hub motor is a cadence-driven system, and that's just much, much easier to maintain your motor's output or to maintain the power, maintain the active motor. Cadence, all you got to do is just keep the cranks turning, whereas a torque sensor, you really got to put in some work to keep that motor working. So there's some major advantages and disadvantages, absolutely, to both of them. I wouldn't say either one is better than the other. Mid-drive technology tends to be a little bit newer. In fact, our system that we use, Bafang mid-drive motors, are high performance, but in the massive majority, your mid-drive systems are going to top out at 250 to 350 watts. Our smallest mid-drive, in fact, is a 500 watt, and they only get bigger from there. So advantages, disadvantages really depends on what manufacturer of that mid-drive or that rear hub motor you're using, but they both definitely fit a specific need or a specific type of ride.
Totally. Can you speak to if it's a single gear bike?
Yeah.
Um, what would be the implications of that?
So single gear drive is essentially going to be something that is most ideal on a rear hub style motor system. It's basically gonna give you the power when you need the power, and it's gonna be easy to maintain that power. The drawback, if you were to have something that's torque driven, is that once you top out in your pedaling, meaning you're spinning too fast, you no longer have torque, and the motor would actually cut out on you. Versus a cadence sensor where the single gear drive, just keeping the cranks turning, keeps the motor active. If you're in power level 5, that thing will just keep ripping right up a hill. So I would say ideally the hub motor for the single gear drive system.
Sweet. Awesome. All right, let's see. John was asking about the brake levers for the Baby Maker Pro. Apparently, somebody made a video complaining that the Baby Maker Pro Magura brake levers are plastic. Well, it's a composite,
Yeah.
but that's the same as your Blade 2.0, right?
It's exactly the same thing.
Composite levers, yeah.
Yep, composite levers, ABS plastic. It's literally like the same plastic that they would use in an engine compartment where it's high thermal. It can handle a lot of heat. I mean, it is super, super strong. It doesn't age quickly. I mean, it's ideally what you want. And on top of all else, it reduces weight. Whereas something like an aluminum lever is definitely going to weigh more. Not much more, but it'll weigh some more. And on top of all else, I would just like to say Magura is a brand that makes brakes and has been since the late 1800s. They have been around for so long. They're the ones that chose to make them in this fashion. In fact, not us. We chose to go with it for the namesake, the brand, the quality. And like Rob said, we use Magura brakes on many of our models of bikes. Standalone, in my opinion, it's one of the better brake companies that you can get outside of what most people know of Shimano and SRAM. High quality, somebody that's been around forever and probably will be. Magura is doing it right.
100%. And keep in mind, the military trusts composite technology in all of the highest tech weapons that they're using, et cetera. That's something they've got to count on. Same technology in the materials there. How Alphonse asks, how does salt water from the beach and sand affect the Baby Maker?
That's a very good question, and I appreciate you asking that so I can give kind of a thorough answer to it. The nemesis of electronics comes in two parts, if you will. Water and dust. Dust being minerals, minerals being something like the salt that is in salt water. Will become corrosive to the metal parts. The water will also be corrosive to the metal parts. If any of those elements get into the electronics, they are built as a water resistant, not waterproof. So the bike is definitely not a submarine by any means. And I just wanted to reiterate, you want to always keep as much of the water and the elements off of your bike, or the water and the minerals, the buildup, the dirt, the grime. Absolutely keep the bikes clean, keep them as dry as you possibly can. Kind of like keeping care of or taking care of your paint on the exterior of your car. You want to keep a nice wax on it. What that's doing is keeping a barrier to keep the elements away from the paint, to keep it from corroding. Not that you want to necessarily put wax on your bike, but just keeping the elements off of your bike as conveniently possible as that could be. If you ride through some rain or through some puddles, if you ride through some mud, just wipe that stuff off after you're all done riding, and you should have absolutely no issues.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason, for the answer. Let's see. Hey, Jason asked earlier, but could I get specs, item, product details for the Magura brake lines in case we have to raise the handlebars, steering tubes, etc.? Current length of front brake line. Emerald Citizen, I was going to ask Troy about that. Sorry, that did slip my mind. Have you got brake line lengths?
So, as much as I hate to say it, no, we don't actually have the specific spec on that. When our guys in the factory set the bikes up originally, if you've built brake systems before, you generally just want to make sure that when the handlebars turn at a full 90 degrees to the left and then to the right, nothing is pinching or kinking or binding. So it's literally just as easy when you're setting everything up from the start. You're dealing with longer than necessary to find the right length, and you just cut it right there. That's the way the guys in the factory do it. It's pretty typical for most bicycle shops and bicycle mechanics. As that we've had experience, we know what to look for. So really, when you're sizing that stuff and you're setting it up, get a piece that is much too long. And then from there, make sure that nothing kinks or binds when you're setting up either the hydraulic line or the mechanical brake cable line. The same would follow for any shifting lines that you have coming through the bike as well.
Awesome. I've got to add on to that. So we do give a spec to our factories for the exact brake line lengths for different configurations.
Okay.
If you're building it yourself, though, you can follow Jason's tutorial as far as turning the handlebars, etc., and make sure it's a length that you like. The actual lengths, though, I'm going to have to confirm those, and we can help you out with those. If you send a support ticket, support@flx.bike, that would be a good way to keep in touch with us, and we can send them to you.
Cool.
All right. All right, Jason. I think that's everything. I got a bunch more to roll through, but thank you so much
no
for
worries. Anytime, man.
for the answers. Really appreciate your hard work. And oh crap, got the wrong button. Big applause.
You blew me at first, didn't you?
I got you some music.
Oh.
Thanks, Jason. Jason's a total rock star. Okay, Graham, I'm seeing a lot of questions here about the motor for the UK. And as we've mentioned many times, and I believe on the campaign as well, the motor for the UK and for Europe and for Australia, New Zealand, all the places that are legally required for it to be 250 watts, we do ship a 250 watt motor with the bike. We try to be as clear as possible about that. However, anybody in those locations, you will be extremely, extremely hard pressed to find any difference between that motor and the 350 watt motor at all in terms of performance, speed, etc. You really will not notice any difference. It does need to comply with the local regulations, though. To get it into the country, it is a 250 watt motor. All right, that's where we left off before Jason came in. Graham. So let's see. John from San Diego, where's my Silver Pro 21? My wife is so mad at me about the money you've had for so long. John, it's being built. The money actually went to building your bike, so please hang tight on that. We have set a date of July 31st to deliver all the outstanding orders, so sometime between now and then you will be getting your baby maker, most likely before then, so keep an eye on your email for an allocation and shipping email from us. Tim, how many bikes are going to the Netherlands in total? I can try and get you that information here real quick. If you give me a minute, I'll see if I can pull it up. In the meantime, I'll answer a few questions because that is loading right now. All right, Troy, what have you got?
All right, some updates. Richard and I have been furiously going through the notes. If you don't know, Richard is our supply chain analyst, does a super job, and maybe he'll sit in this seat one of these times and do this. Okay, so got some questions, or answers. So John Train, you asked emails or letters. They are emails. I'm sorry, I'm old and I predate emails, so I sometimes say letters. But when I say letters, I mean emails. We do everything electronically here, and it's a lot quicker. It's a lot easier on the tongue, so you don't have to lick any stamps. So there you go. Alphonse, you are on T3. HRMSJ, order 10825. It looks like you're going to be on T6. We haven't sent all those allocations out, so you should see that letter. James Gilroy. Okay, so I'm sorry, I neglected to cover this. So the James Gilroy, you have a Sterling bike. So I think you talked about this a little bit on the update. The Sterlings, the wheels for those are in another container that we're still waiting to clear customs. It's one of those Spanish customs things. We've gotten a lot of the frames and forks and other parts, but for some reason the wheels are kind of perpetually a hang up. We had originally scheduled those for build, and then the wheels did not come through customs. So James, my apologies. You were allocated, and the bike did not get built. None of the Sterlings got built on this latest go around. So we're hoping to clear customs and have those out. You are at the top, so you will be getting that bike. My apologies. Gianna Valentino, I think you actually answered your own question. You're on T5. So that's the good news. And I think someone is asking about T4 status. And that was the one we talked about. That is awaiting a berth at Long Beach. That's the MSC Auriga. Luca, you were asking about your bike. You ordered a Pro 23 green upper, very popular model in Europe, and we'll work through it, but we have a lot of those to build, and you are fairly far down the line in terms of your order number, but we will get to you. You haven't been forgotten. It's in the build plan. John Train is also, he has a Sterling Pro 23 upper. We have a ton of those coming in on T6. I think you're going to get covered on that. We haven't completely finished the allocation, but look for a letter. Graham, yes, you're on UK2. I think there's some confusion here. 422 was when the address verification letter went out to everybody. So that is arriving at distribution tomorrow, and we'll probably again start next, I'm going to guess Tuesday because of the bank holiday. Chris Link 88, let me know if you did not receive your address verification. I think you should have. If you didn't, let me know. Either through this, you can post a comment if you don't get back before the end of the little podcast here, or if you're still live on here, let me know if you didn't receive your address verification. Someone has asked about F5 trails. Those are there. We have F5s coming in container 20 along with baby makers. And Mackie just told me the rest of the batteries that we were short the packing material are packed and waiting to go out. So those are going to be on their way to you soon.
Awesome.
That's all the updates I got.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Troy.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Another round of applause. All right. Tim, I was in the middle of your question. How many bikes are going to the Netherlands? It is 91. And looking at this data now, I realize I made a mistake earlier. Somebody asked how many bikes total to the UK. Less than 1,000, actually. I'm showing 740 here, almost 740 to the UK. So I was mistaken there. I believe the total for EU is actually closer to 1,000. Peter Small, hi Rob, waiting for my bike in BC, Canada. It was ordered in June 2020. Peter, thank you for your patience. We do really appreciate it. Bikes for Canada are being fulfilled along with the bikes from the US. They're sent together in the same containers, and then we just ship bikes directly from our fulfillment center in LA up to you in Canada. So you won't need to wait on any special containers. Chris Link should move quick, Rob, since many bike sellers I saw online are copying the Baby Maker bike. Yeah, they do like to do that. Even our original first crowdfunding campaign in 2016, people started trying to copy our Trail model and the Roadster model very shortly after those came out. So there's always going to be imitators, and that is the most sincere form of flattery. Thank you, Chris. They'll try, but they'll never have a Baby Maker. Graham, I did answer your questions about the motors for the UK. And I see some more questions down below, so we'll get to those. Tony, bike for Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Ordered on July 1st. Same answer there. Those bikes will be shipped with the U.S. Containers. So thanks for the patience, and they will be shipping together. No special containers. Hi guys, what's the VAT charge on the UK deliveries? Callow 444, I believe it is 20%, 20% of your purchase price. And Graham, sorry, I'm not ignoring your questions. When Jason was in here, we are just answering questions that are mechanic related. I wanted to wait until he was out of here to answer all of the missed questions in line. Now we've got to yours. Alphonse, if you have a problem with the bike, oh, we got your question already. Graham says, I got shipping on 427, so I'm on UK 2. That should be correct, Graham. Stefan, my baby maker should arrive tomorrow or Friday in Switzerland. Guess it was on NL3. That's awesome, Stefan. Thank you for letting us know. Norman, I got my Sterling Pro on UK1 and have a leaking rear caliper. What's the fix in UK? Please contact our support team, Norman. Support at flx.bike. We'll be able to sort you out. You may want to take it to a bike shop to have them look at it. Chris, I hope you guys received my feedback email for the shipping confirmation. If you emailed it to our support team, we certainly did receive it. Thank you very much. Graham, I'm going to confirm the UK2 for 427. That sounds about right. UK2. Yeah, that should be it. Those, I see they were emailed on 422, not 427. All right, we did get a bunch of these already with Troy and Jason. Tim got that already. Travis, Troy answered your question. Wow, burning through these. All right. Eric, what's the status on T4? So T4 is expected to arrive in late April, early May. And you can find these statuses, by the way, in the Indiegogo updates that we publish weekly every Tuesday on Indiegogo. Those will have every container and the latest we know about it. Tony, my contribution was April 23rd, 2020 via Indiegogo. Nothing received yet. Can you at least associate contributions with builds, then allocation, then shipping, etc.? This would improve delivery assurance. Tony, I totally agree with you on that idea. The challenge we have with it is that, as we mentioned, there are a lot of variables in the build process. So, for example, we have a certain build plan based on our expectations of components arriving. And a lot of times those expectations or those plans go to the wind when, for example, in Spain, the wheels for the build that we had were not cleared by customs. And so that leaves us having to make changes. If we had allocated those bikes, we'd have 30 or 40 people who are severely disappointed because they received an email saying, hey, your bike's been or is being built and going to be built, and that doesn't actually happen. So just to mitigate some disappointment there, we try to stay away from that until the bike is actually built and we know, okay, we've got it, it's done, it's perfect, it's beautiful, it's an FLX baby maker, and it has your name on it. That's when we can send you the allocation letter. John 750, awesome, thanks for the update. I watched a video of a guy riding, and he mentioned they were plastic in reference to the brakes. Thank you. Raul N. wanted to say that you guys have done a great job under the circumstances that we have been through the last year of what was under your control. Especially appreciate the consistent and regular updates. Thank you so much, Raul. We have not been perfect, but everybody's been working their asses off, doing their best to build you guys these bikes. It was very challenging to say the least, and we're on the tail end here. Almost all the bikes have been built. Well, the majority anyway, 70% so far, 69% to be exact. Martin, what about a mod to add an extra battery for longer trips, a clip-on? Thanks for the idea, Martin. That has been suggested quite a bit, so it is something that we keep in mind. Raul, there could be improvements in Europe assembly and logistics, though not sure if it would have been this challenging if we did not go through the pandemic. Certainly, Raul, it would have been a lot easier without the pandemic. The biggest thing is lead times on all the components exploded. They went from several months to sometimes up to 2 years now on certain components. But we certainly could have made improvements if we knew what we know now. And moving forward, we're going to do that. Chris Link, Jason, what if the pedal assist sensor is not working? No video on how to fix it, right? I'm not sure if we have a video on that or not, Chris. I have seen a few that we've sent out as replacements. So if you do have an issue with yours, you can always contact our support team and we'll sort you out. Graham, wrong motors is not to do with the pandemic. Graham, we do not have the wrong motors on any of the bikes. We've put the motors that we said we were going to put on those bikes. Raul, on a lighter note, the transition of questions have been, where is my bike? 2, where is my ship? And 3, where is my FedEx truck? We're getting there, Raul. Thank you. Callo 444, does the 250 watt motor get better range? Callo, as I mentioned, you won't really notice any difference at all in the performance range, acceleration. Speed will be different as it's limited to 25 kilometers an hour. If you need to modify that for off-road use only or to fit your local regulations, you'll be able to do that to the speed of your choice. And in that case, you would not notice a difference in the speed either. Tony, contribution 13064, contribution date July 1st, 2020. Tony, I can't give you an exact date for your contribution number. I can say that it should be before our cutoff of July 31st, and to keep an eye out on the allocation emails. Ray, is the Baby Maker a Class 3 e-bike that ceases to provide assistance when the e-bike reaches 28 miles per hour? Thank you. Ray, it is. It is a Class 3 e-bike. It cuts off at 28 miles per hour. Rogue Brit, my KTM RC8 motorcycle uses Magura brake levers and master cylinders. That's awesome. Yeah, they make some great brakes. Tony, contribution 4578. Again, Tony, I can't give you a specific date based on your contribution number, but once you get your allocation letter, you'll know that your bike has been built and it's on its way, so please hang tight for that. FDC, are there to be shipped more containers with parts to build all EU, UK bikes to Spain? Yes, FDC, everything to build every bike that's been ordered in the EU and UK either have all shipped or will all be shipped to build them. Arlene, hi, I'm from the UK. When can I expect my bike, please? Arlene, we're continuing to build bikes for the UK. We did set a deadline of July 31st to build all those bikes, so should be sometime between now and July 31st. In the EU and UK, it is a little bit tight on that date based on the current progress we're seeing, so we'll keep you updated on that. Everywhere else, we're very confident in it. That's the only area where it's a little bit up in the air just due to slowdowns from customs, but if we can make good progress, we'll be able to hit it. Thomas, I'm asking again, why can't you send out an email with contribution number versus container? Thomas, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Do you mean the container number with the allocation letter? I'll keep an eye out, hopefully, for your answer. Thank you, Chris, for the emails. Appreciate it. Arlene, when can I expect a shipping confirmation email? Arlene, again, I can't tell you exactly when your bike will be finished, but once it is finished, that's when you can expect the confirmation email. And it should be sometime between now and the end of July. Tomars, I haven't seen any US Kiwi Pro 19s in a long time. Have you gotten down to just the last few and waiting to ship a more popular SKU before building more? Um, Tomars, I have to look at our factory footage and stuff. Troy does have a better breakdown, but as far as I know, there's no shortage of components to build them. It should be business as usual on them. 19s are built in less quantity as the 23s, as 23 was a bit more popular of a SKU, but they should be built together. I do see a lot of 19s in our factory footage. Parik, any idea when Ireland shipments will be arriving? Appreciate the updates, but would be nice to have some expectation. Parik, I'm not sure if we've shipped any to Ireland or not yet. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth and tell you the wrong thing, but they are shipped with EU bikes. They should be shipped with the EU bikes rather than the UK bikes. And the next shipment is going out to the EU. So if there's orders for Ireland in those dates, there will be bikes going to Ireland. As far as your exact order, again, I can't tell you an exact date on that. Awaken Sleeper, how many baby makers are on C19? I believe that is, let's see, that's 825 touring kits and 54 baby makers, according to Troy. Regina, Second Universe, I would like to request for a bike frame size change. I just realized that I ordered 23. It should have been a 19. Is it too late to request for a change? I ordered my bike in March 2nd, 2021. I'm from Canada. Regina, please contact our support team. It's support@flx.bike with your request and your order number. If you do need to make a change, it's possible. I can't make any promises that we can get that in now. It depends on where along your bike is in production. Mark Mayo, hey, hi Rob. Hey Mark, how's it going? Thomas, I received this from you in February. A precise time estimate is not possible. We're estimating the current arrival for your bike to be early March. Interesting. That was in February. Huh. Thomas, who did you get that from? Was that signed by somebody? If you could let me know, I would appreciate that. Chris Aguilar, moving forward to decrease the options, do you know which colors will no longer be available? Barry is one that is getting the axe, Chris. So if you've got a Barry bike, you'll have a one of a kind item. It was, I love the Barry. That's one of my favorite colors for the bike for sure. However, it was ordered in the um, lowest volume out of all the colors. So that one, unfortunately, is going to get the axe. Tomar's, I too am waiting for Pro Kiwi 19-inch. Thomas, I've been patient enough waiting since May 2020. Thomas, you've been more than patient, and same with everybody here. I understand how anxious everybody is to get their baby makers, and we're doing the best we can. We're working our butts off to get them to you guys. It hasn't been the most smooth sailing campaign by any means, but considering the circumstances, we're very proud to have shipped how many bikes here? Let's see. 69% of all the bikes. That's over 6,000 bikes around the world to 30 countries so far. Hasn't been perfect. We wish we could have delivered every single bike by now. It's been a little bit slower than initially anticipated and estimated by our entire team, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get to the end of it, and it will certainly be well worth the wait, as everybody who's receiving their bike is saying. Chris Link, can I expect both of my bikes next month, Rob? Chris, I believe Troy has sent you the allocation letter or the shipping confirmation for yours. I don't know the exact transit time to Indonesia, nor exactly when those are going out. So I can't tell you for sure, but I can tell you that it will be very soon for yours. Arnanim, Berlin, Germany. What is the email address I should watch out for the address confirmation? I hope my bike will be delivered before the order turns 1 year old. Arnanim, it is shipping@flx.bike. Again, shipping@flx.bike. I'm getting cotton mouth, but we're getting to the end of the questions here. Going to wrap this up soon. We are a bit over time today to answer all the questions. Cameron, how long until after receiving confirm your shipping address email will I receive your bike? Cameron, there's still some variables in that process after you get that. The biggest one being port congestion as of late, and that's means the shipping container comes in, but there's nowhere to park it at the port because there's just so many boats trying to dock, and so sometimes those are waiting for a couple days. Sometimes it's a 2-3 weeks even. So in general, I say between 5 to 7 weeks. Sometimes after you get that, could be a little bit sooner than that. Parik, a nice one, Rob. Pint of Guinness with your name on it when I get it. Awesome, Parik. I'm excited for that, and I will have a pint of Guinness with your name on it. Arnanim, it's shipping@flx.bike. Shipping@flx.bike. I'll type that for you. Support@flx.bike is our email address, and it's not .com. It's .bike. .bike. John Brazil, keep rocking it, FLX. Thank you, John. Appreciate the support and the positivity. Running Heart, will you be keeping a stock of extra batteries for future purchase? Yes, we will be. Sheldon, I'm really excited about purchasing 2 bikes, one 19-inch, and I'm on the fence for the 23-inch or the 19-inch. Is it too late to make this shipment for the $1,700 price? Sheldon, whatever the price is now, that's the current price. So the folks who ordered the earliest, they got the biggest discount. They're also the ones waiting the longest. The early bird gets the worm, so to speak. But whatever the price shows now on our website, that's what it is. I can try and find that for you. We're not doing any discounts at the moment. There's a pre-order discount on it still, but not as high as the initial launch. Excuse me. It's $1,769 right now, James. Sorry, that was for Sheldon. $1,769. Chris, I do have berry super pumped. It's rare. Hell yeah, Chris. Oliver, hey Rob, when you get a chance, I would like you to send Sarah my biggest thank you for the response she gave me a few days ago. Just got to wait for my bike to get here. I'm going to send that to her and the entire team right now. Oliver, thank you so much for that. And just so you guys know how it is in our world, the support team, they really work their butts off, and they've got the hardest job here because they only get contacted whenever there's an issue or whenever somebody's upset or needs information right away. So it's very rare for them to get such good positive feedback right out of the gate. They don't get to see all the fun stuff that the rest of the team sees. So thank you so much for that, Oliver. I'm going to forward that on to the team so they can appreciate it. I'll tell Sarah you said she's a rock star. Boom. All right, it's sent, Oliver. Thank you very much. James Gilroy, when will these wheels arrive? What order will I be on? It's now a year. James, I don't know exactly when Spanish customs will clear the wheels that we're waiting on in Spain. It could be any day now. So we've been checking every single day. we've got boots on the ground there that are pushing with the customs people, with the agents, and we're checking in every day to make sure they're on top of it, doing everything that can be done to get the wheels out. So as soon as we have an update, we'll be sharing that with you. Awakened Sleeper, you guys should add white and charcoal to the SKU for Baby Maker 2. Thank you for the idea. I appreciate it. Chris Link, okay, it's all right, Rob. Thank you for your answers. May God bless you and Team FLX always. Thank you, Chris, and same to you. Thank you so much for your patience and tuning in to every single live. I don't think you've ever missed a live. It's always so good to see you here. Thank you, Chris, for the support, your patience, and that bike's going to arrive for you very soon. Mark, rode my wife's homemade e-bike. My wife's homemade e-bike again. Can't wait for my bike. Mark, we can't wait to get it for you either. Curious to see what the homemade e-bike looks like. Eric, what are the correct replacement brake pads? MT30 aren't clearly listed on the Magura site. Eric, if you could please email our support team, support@flx.bike. One of our mechanics will get back to you with the correct brake pad. I do not have it offhand. Thomas, which comes first, allocation letter or shipping confirmation? Thomas, that should be the allocation letter, if I'm not mistaken. So we say, hey, it's been allocated, and then follow up with a shipping confirmation. Arnanim, gotcha. Sheldon, thanks, Rob. I'm excited. I'll go ahead and make my order. Good work. Sheldon, we're excited to get you the bike, and the weight will be a little bit less now that you're ordering, and we've got through the brunt of the pre-order, so we're excited to have you on board. Josh, any updates on the quantum portals that will be used to ship future baby makers? Man, if we could teleport these bikes to you, that would really make our job easier. No updates on that, Josh. Oliver, Rigger, anytime, bro, keep it up. And Chris, because I love you guys. And that is the end of all the questions. We're quite a bit over time today. A lot of questions. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience, for trusting us to build you these bikes, the bikes of our dreams. For everybody that's waiting, we do really appreciate your understanding here. We are making huge progress every single day. So please keep an eye out for your emails and for eventually that aquarium box to arrive on your door with your beautiful baby maker on it. It will come soon, and it will be well worth the wait. Everybody that's got a baby maker already, please ride safe and enjoy the ride, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks again, guys. Until next time.